Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Just like every business has had to, just like every agency in the state of North Dakota has had to, is that K-12 schools have to think about how are they going to deliver education in those buildings in a way that allows them to stay open.
Local school leaders in North Dakota will have the say on reopening the education system within their district this fall. That was the focal point of Governor Doug Burgum's guidelines that were released this afternoon.
The governor says the approaches for K through 12 schools could include face-to-face, online, or a hybrid of the two, depending on decisions made by each local school board. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley will have reaction from the governor coming up in a little bit.
Meanwhile, North Dakota's superintendent of schools admits today that the governor's guidance from the state leaves many unanswered questions, but does offer up additional room for local decisions to be made, and one of those being the start of the school year and when it ends.
There are a lot of asymptomatic people. What's to say my kid won't be one of those and he'll bring it home to me and my husband? And
want nothing more than my kids to go back to school because it's been hard, but number one priority is safety, and I just need to guarantee that they're safe to go back.
I feel one of the key pieces of being a teacher is making those relationships with kids. And I really struggle on how to do that over Zoom, but I also do think it's possible.
Mike, both Governor Burgum and Superintendent Bazelord said that they hope that they never have to close North Dakota schools ever again. As you just heard those mothers say, that they are kind of hoping for a 50-50 approach, or what's called the hybrid model. And that's kind of the way that Governor Burgum let today's press conference go. He's letting those decisions go now to local school boards and local schools to decide what's best for them based on their location and their COVID-19 situation. Now, of course, again, Governor Burgum has now passed that torch on to local school boards. They will be the ones making those decisions as to what comes next. Those details should be announced within the coming days. Reporting live in Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
All right, look for more local reaction to today's announcement tonight on Valley News Live 10 at 10. Thanks, Bailey.
Not much happening in the weather today, which is fine with everyone, I'm sure. Let's get the latest on what's happening on this Tuesday night, especially for those of you who may want to venture outside later. Hutch?
Most of us are enjoying beautiful conditions this evening, and as we take a look at the radar, we do see a couple of thunder showers working their way up into the Devil's Lake Basin. But again, most of us high and dry with quiet conditions. Taking you in a little bit closer, just north of the Devil's Lake area, we do see a few thunder showers passing from northwest to southeast at about 30 miles per hour, and this is what they look like thanks to our Home of Economy camera in Devil's Lake. A few clouds up there. Brief heavy shower, maybe a couple rumbles of lightning and thunder. That's about it. For Fargo, I think we stay dry. Temperatures in the 70s, cooling off into the 60s later. Grand Forks likewise, maybe a few more clouds just to your north. All in all, though, we do have some concerns about the weather heading into the weekend. A first alert weather day has been issued for Friday. Details in a few moments.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Thanks, Hutch.
The father of a Grand Forks airman who was killed on base says the Air Force needs to be held accountable. His 21-year-old daughter died at the hands of another airman less than 2 months after arriving at the base. In this exclusive interview with Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero, he says his daughter told family she was afraid of her suspected killer.
Natasha Aposhin left college to pursue a career in the United States Air Force.
When she joined the Air Force, I had my concerns, but her going through basic, graduating with honors.
The Arizona native arrived at the Grand Forks Air Force Base in April. Her dad, Brian Murray, says the 21-year-old had ambitious goals for her time in the military. Yet on June 1st, Aposhin was fatally shot inside the base's dorms.
It was, as you can imagine, just a wave of emotions. I just broke down. My legs buckled. I just screamed at the top of my lungs, no, and just ever since then, it's just kind of been like a bad dream.
Her death remains under investigation by the Air Force. Murray says he wants them to answer several questions, most importantly, how a gun got inside the dorm since they are not allowed. 20-year-old Julian Torres also died as a result of the shooting. While the Air Force is not releasing much details, Torres was a member of security forces and the job would allow him to carry a weapon. Murray says his daughter was afraid of Torres and told him over the phone she ended things with Torres the night before she died.
I do know that she did relate to both her mother and her best friend that she was afraid of this guy, that there were instances of him being volatile and aggressive and controlling.
Murray says with all his love for the military, there needs to be a change in culture on how enlisted women are treated.
And the fact that something like this happened is unforgivable.
Aposhin had wanted to spend 20 years in the Air Force, a goal cut short by this tragic event. In Grand Forks, Joshua Piguero, Valley News Live.
A vigil for Natasha Aposhin is being held tomorrow night at 7 in front of the federal courthouse in Grand Forks. Brian Murray says he's planning to speak with Senator Kevin Cramer tomorrow regarding his daughter's death.
A man is facing several charges after he led authorities on a chase around Grand Forks that reached speeds of 90 miles per hour in city limits. Juan Robles was arrested Saturday, for reckless endangerment and fleeing from officers. Investigators say a deputy tried pulling the 39-year-old over for his license plate lights being out. Instead, Robles reportedly took off and then abandoned his vehicle, fleeing on foot. Police say they located him in someone's yard.
Do you know who this is? The Grand Forks Police Department is looking for him. As you can see, the man rides up to this home, gets off of his bike, and takes another one. Police say the theft happened early Saturday morning in the 1000 block of South 11th Street. The bike is a youth black and gold Mongoose BMX bike. If you see him, please call police.
Moorhead police are warning you about a high-risk sex offender who will be living in Moorhead. Omar Yassin will be released from prison tomorrow and will be moving to the 1900 block of First Avenue North. The address is about a half mile from Moorhead High School. Yassin has multiple felony convictions on his record, including assault with a dangerous weapon, terroristic threats, and drug sales.
A 2-year-old boy is dead after being run over and dragged by a pickup, and a Fargo woman is seriously hurt after a deputy responding to that incident crashed into her vehicle. This all happened around 8 last night in Watford City. Authorities say 2-year-old Graylin Roberts was run over and dragged 15 feet before the driver realized what happened. While deputies were responding to the accident, one of them drove through a red light with her sirens on and crashed into 34-year-old Amanda Mitchell of Fargo. Mitchell was flown to a hospital and is in critical condition.
One man's in jail after Fargo police say he slammed an officer's head into the ground and tried to get his gun. It happened about 3:40 this morning near the Fargo Dome. The officer was trying to pull the man over because he saw the driver cut off another vehicle, causing it to almost crash. The man got out of his car, tried to run, but fell. The two were fighting on the ground, and that's when the man started slamming the officer's head and tried to get his gun. Eventually, he was tased. This man, Jacob Sorleen, was arrested and taken to jail. He and the officer were taken to the hospital to be treated for minor injuries.
Another man is in jail for breaking into a couple's home and threatening to kill them. The incident happened at around 6:15 this morning in the 4000 block of Pine Parkway South in Fargo. Police say the homeowners woke up to the sound of breaking glass and saw a strange man inside. The man was identified as Brock Toei. One of the homeowners was able to detain him until police arrived. Officers then learned that Toei tried to break into Happy Harry's just off of 52nd Avenue South, allegedly, earlier in the day, but was unsuccessful.
Tasty Freeze in Moorhead is closed after someone broke in and trashed the place. Police say it happened between 10 last night and 1:30 this morning. A side window was busted and the front glass cracked. The toilet was also broken and stuff was thrown around inside. At this time, no one has been arrested in connection to the break-in. The store will keep you updated on repairs and reopening on its Facebook and Instagram pages.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, multiple law enforcement agencies are noticing an increase in scams. We'll explain what these scams are and what you can do to protect yourself.
We've had a break from the heat and humidity today while it's sizzling down in Texas. Beautiful sunrise this morning with the clouds delivering about 9/100ths of an inch of rain to the FM area. Your forecast is coming up right after this.